This is where we're supposed to be. For some reason, it inverts the image for me. I don't know if it does for y'all. Just give it a second, see if anybody hops in. Then we also have this roll right here, which is 1955 D Lincoln cents. And this roll right here. All right. Sorry I'm late. I ended up having to work till 10. And I ended up staying longer than that. But finally got home, made it here, and ready to finally search some coins. So I see that there's somebody in here. If you could say hi in the chat so I know who you are, that'd be awesome. But anyways, we're going to search some 1955 Demerment pennies tonight. And one of these rolls is going to end up being for DW. He ended up buying, which he's also going to get 3 40%ers and a quarter and a mercury dime, all silver. So excited about that one. Not really. Let's see. So we have here a 1967 half dollar, 1968 Demerment, and then a 1969 Demerment as well. So those are going to be going. And sorry, could have been a little bit more organized. I was just in a bit of a rush. Where did it go? Oh, here's a mercury dime, so then it's in here too. All right, so these are actually from Rob Finds Treasure, and aren't in the greatest of shape, but still pretty awesome. I didn't search these. I thought I saw God in God We Trust stretched a little bit, but that's just glare. And then we also got here 1945 mercury dime. And I'll be flipping these up. I just haven't quite done it yet. So thank you, DW. And then he said that he wanted me to flip a quarter to see which one of these rolls he was going to get. I sent him a picture, and he said make the top one heads, that's this one, and then make the bottom one tails, and that's this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this quarter. And we have heads. So heads, he's going to go ahead and get the lighter color roll, which I think is pretty cool because it has these little slots on here where it says like 50 cents. Oh. Nope, it's just going to mess with me. 50 cents and 1 cent. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I have no idea what the condition of these coins are. I don't know if they're going to be sort of BU or if they're going to be brown. And they are taped on the end, so I have to destroy the roll, unfortunately. But I'm not going to just roll it all out. So they are not BU, at least not so far. And they are all 1955 Demerments, as far as I can tell. So I'm going to scoot this camera in, and we're going to check. So on the points, I wish I could show y'all. There is repunchment marks, which this one is probably not. There's also a double die. Ooh. Hey, DW, how's it going? Actually, that one might be worth cleaning up. If you look right there in the 5, let me, do I have anything to point with? In that last 5 right there on the side, I see something that could definitely be doubling or damage, but it looks like it could be doubling. So, DW, do you clean your coins in any way? And can y'all hear me? Need to make sure of that too. Another 1955D. I'm doing really well. Had a for me, I feel like it was a good night at work because we got really, really planned, and I didn't panic. I kept my head, kept it cool. I kept all the orders in line, and I felt like I did a really good job. I'm gonna check the back too, and at least keeping my cool in all the pressure, which not everyone did, unfortunately, and some apologies had to be made. So I'm going to set this one off to the side. I am using my Rob Finds Treasure mat to search the coins, so I have a soft surface. This thing being backwards is really messing with my head. Yeah, I'm honestly pretty new to collecting myself. I started when I was living in my truck. Whoa, look at that one, how short it is. Is that how these other ones have been? No, not quite that short. That is a really short one. Probably a grease-filled error, but it doesn't look like there's any damage right underneath of it. So I don't know about that. That's pretty weird. I'm going to flip that one up for you and let you know what it is. Thank you to my lady's parents for providing me with some staples. I had run out. Oh, bring this down this way. Nothing on that one. But living in my truck, I had a lot of time to sit there and research coins. So maybe the ones are just that short. That might be it. Either that or there's something weird about these ones that might have all been stamped together. Well, I need a drink. Boy, nothing there on Liberty. Wow. I haven't actually got to sit down and like just search some coins here in a while, so this is kind of nice. Do you have a microscope yet, DW, or what do they call it? Jeweler's loop? This one was $15. If you have more money to spend on it, I recommend getting a better one. Maybe one that has like the actual screen. This is a pluggable. And try to get one that really renders the image three-dimensional, because this one I might have had things that I just couldn't quite tell because it would get too blurry as close as I needed to get. And those are on coins that are supposed to have, those really minute things that you need that sort of thing for. Most double dies, if you need to get in that close, it's probably not worth much. Oh, hey, look at this. That's not a D, that's an S. That's pretty cool. I don't know about the 1955S. And one thing I always have a loop on me everywhere I go. I keep my loop in my pocket. So at any time I can look at something. $1955D. So I'm gonna flip up the S too. And then these. So far we found one that could have some doubling on it. And an estimate mark, which wasn't supposed to be in the roll, so that's pretty cool. Let's get into it. I hope we find one with like some really nice luster. or maybe one that's just dirty, and if it was restored, it could get its luster back. My loops, for me personally, I like spending money locally, so I go to my local coin shop to get mine. But let's see. Yeah, I've bought both of mine at a coin shop or at a farmer's market, but you can get them online for really cheap. You can get like 3 packs of like a 10, a 15, and a 20, I think, for like $15 on Amazon. Um, oh, there we go. So let me go back to this 1955. No, some weird looking painting. It kind of looks like the surface of the moon there. Um, Another question I just need to ask you, and you just answer yes or no, is the address that I have for you. Hey, Real Ruler, how's it going? Is the address that I have for you actually what's the one I look for? Current still, the one that I sent the giveaway to. Huh, this one's different looking. Yeah, it's just the green accent. I actually have a few pennies that I've saved that to me look like a ghost pennies or something, something that you would see in like the Tower of Terror or something. So I've kept those and I've wanted to collect them and put them out. Awesome. That works then. That one's pretty cool. Oh, this one's kind of nice for, based on what else we found in the roll. I could actually maybe not even like my microscope more because I'm on a Next book, and this thing is terrible. It really is just not a good computer at all. It actually has less power than my phone. What is that under the 5? That's just dirt. So I imagine I've seen Rob Finds Treasure actually uses a pluggable, and on his screen it looks really nice. All right. Huh. That's really thick, but it's probably just damage and wear, unfortunately. Anybody else have to work tonight? I'm getting off late. Hey, that was the one that looked like the surface of the moon. I've already looked at that one. How'd that get in there? There we go. Ooh, look at that. That took a beating. Oh, man. I think I work tomorrow at like 11 or 12. Yeah, I kind of like working mornings just because I like being home with my family at night and eating dinner with them. But at the same time, this job I have now is actually a really good opportunity. Not only that, but like I stated earlier, I'm doing really well. So I'm really excited just about the opportunity that I have to be there. Ooh, at 4-5. Thanks for a ruler. It's and being able to say, finally that things are going better, even though a lot of things are, as I was telling DW earlier, a lot of things are pretty tight right now. And I didn't really expect it to get the way that it did. It came out of nowhere, especially when I wrecked my truck. That that really ended up hurting us pretty bad. But like I've said before, God gives and takes away, and everything He does for our betterment and for His glory. So instead of being upset about the truck, I'm trying to figure out what lesson I need to learn from it, because it really was just, I just missed the light. I can't believe it. I just didn't see the red light. Oh, that's the microscope that you have. Oh, it's just got sort of a, in my opinion, like a cool purple color to it. It's the way the patina's aged, I guess you could say. I don't really use that word. 55D. All right, so we're more than halfway through this roll now. There's a couple stuck up in there. See if we can find anything else. DW, did you see me show the silver at the beginning of the stream that you're going to be getting? Pretty spot on. Every one of them's been 1955. Okay. Whoa. No, that's just damage on the D. Never mind. So real quick, I got it sitting right over here. So we've got, I was gonna say, 1969 Denver Mint $50. Looks a little funny. I haven't really checked these for doubling or anything before, so. But what do y'all think there on the S and the T and the U? Actually, that looks like split serifs to me. Is it just me, or does that look like? I mean, it maybe dye deterioration. Tell me what y'all think. It does look a little goofy. That's pretty cool. Didn't expect that. Yeah, it really does. I mean, that looks more like dye deterioration to me than the other side, actually, but it does look like there's doubling there. I have my phone here. I can, this was the 1969 Denver Mint. Let's see if PCGS recognizes any of them. If you guys don't have it yet, the CoinFacts app is amazing. I'm sure you do, Real Ruler. DW, you said you're new to collecting, so if you don't have the CoinFacts app yet, that'll give you everything that PCGS will at least recognize. All right, we got 1969 Denver. No varieties recognized by them. That doesn't mean there isn't something on one of the websites like Variety Vista. Then here we have. Okay, see, now that looks like it has something on it too. So I don't know. It could be reflection doubling from having the camera too close. But no, that's not pronounced as the other one was. $1968. And apparently in 1968 and 69, they were only made in Denver, it looked like on the app. The only thing I wish that they would include on there is like an error guide. There's websites for that too, but I haven't found one that really I like a lot. So this one's a 1967, and from 1965 to 1967, the lady that was in that was the I guess the head of the mint. I can't remember the position name right now. She banned mint marks to try and discourage people from collecting coins. And we also have there it is, 1945 Mercury dime. It is just a Philadelphia. There is no mint mark, unfortunately. And a 1945 Washington quarter. Have this closer, I can see that better. No. Yeah, CoinFacts app. CoinFacts, yep, just like that. And no mint mark on this one either. Actually, I haven't tried that one yet, Real Roller, and I keep meaning to. I just never go and download it. So there's the silver. We got about 10 coins or maybe 12 to go through still. Hey, Montana, how's it going? Hey, look at that. Let me, there we go. Focus that in. Big old cud right there. It's sort of, oh, right there between the B and the E. That's pretty cool. Who else uses CoinScope? Marley and T uses CoinScope, who, that's the person who sent me these rolls in the mystery box that I did. That thing was pretty awesome. What is that? I found a 50 halalala coin and a roll of dollars. Could read 50 on it, and the rest was chicken scratches. CoinScope ID'd it right away from Saudi Arabia. That's pretty awesome. All right, yeah, I'm going to have to be getting that app tonight. All right, there's the Liberty. How you doing tonight, Montana Treasure Hunter? That's everybody else. Did you have to work? Oh, you know what? Oh. That's just damage, I think. But where's the L? It's like way over there. That's pretty weird too. I'm gonna have to save that one, and then I forgot to save that BIE one that's sitting over here in the pile. I don't want to make you have to search for it, especially if you're on a microscope yet. Let's see. There it is. All right, put that one up top too. All right, cool. Oh, that's why. Covering it. It's got sticky stuff on it. Huh. That's probably just damage. That's how I did it, DW. I just started hopping online and looking up valuable coins, and first I found Couch Collectibles. Of course, he's everywhere, but a lot of his videos are good, especially once he came out with the what was it, Couch Clips, where he sort of took out all the stuff about like old giveaways and things like that was sort of irrelevant, and just put the useful information in there that you needed. that was pretty awesome when he did that because it saves a lot of time. And yeah, I've learned a lot from J&B. I actually have some of their coin lists, and I pretty much sit down with those every time that I go through coins. $5, it's not bad. I'm sure there was a lot of time and research put into those. So, but at some point, I would like to go out and get a cherry picker's guide. But if y'all have heard, they're kind of hard to find right now. Huh. No, that's just damage, I guess. Might be some cut, a little cut mark there on the eye, but nothing too big. And one more penny from your roll. Then I'm gonna go ahead and pull mine out. All right. So, finds of the roll, 1955 BIE error, which are pretty common, but they're still cool. And it helps give you a good idea. This one, that L just looks really weird. So I'm going to flip that one up. Then what do we got here? This is the 1955 D. That D's a little crooked, maybe. Could just be damaged, but it looks a little crooked. Oh, this is the one that I thought could possibly be a double die. Right here. On the sides of the 5. The 9 has a bunch of dirt around it, but you could see doubling on that. Check Liberty. Nothing there. And then a 1955S. But you can tell that the difference in the strike is just, even though it's dirty, San Francisco just seems to have always taken care of their coins, even before they made all the proofs. Ooh. That was 1969D. This one right here. It is in a flip, so there's some glare from that. The date, not so much. There's a little toning around that 9. It's pretty cool. But up here, the trust is where I saw the most, especially there at the end, sort of like the 74. The only thing that makes me think it might just be dye deterioration is because if you look at the U, it only goes off to one side of it. It doesn't really, the serif on the right side, or for me, might not be. I'm pretty sure that serif's supposed to be sort of doubled too. Wexler doesn't. What about James Wiles, Variety Vista? Pretty sure he's the official Konica. So what am I looking for? Completely lost my vocabulary now. Attributor. I wanted to say ascriber, but no, it's attributor. So. Oh. Nope, never mind. Looked like the reverse was rotated a little bit, but I was wrong. Check out the reverse of it. believe on the back, most of the time you would end up seeing doubling and e pluribus unum on the back of the half dollars, the reverse. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open my roll too. Let's see what we have in here. She got this roll from somebody other than that roll. I'm pretty sure they're from two different sources. They're just the same year. All right, make sure I'll mix mine up with yours. Just gonna lay them all out. Absolutely, DW. Thank you for buying the roll. So I'm gonna go through mine a little bit faster and more than likely just check the date for the most part. So unfortunately, we didn't find any D over Ds, which would have been cool. That's what I was really looking for. Actually, I ended up putting the two that I got in the mystery box under the microscope, and they're definitely the FS501, I think it is. Okay, so it's almost like they know that it should exist, but they haven't found any yet. And the way that they can do that is before the dies are destroyed, they'll recognize that it was doubled and that a bunch of coins probably got out. And normally a double die can be traced back to a specific die. And I'm guessing that's because 300 likes, that'd be awesome. I'm guessing that they take a picture of the face of the die, though, and that's how they end up. Oh, hey, what's that? Damage. Darn it. I'm going to have to clean this up a little bit. I'm guessing that's how they actually. Well, that's sort of weird looking. The way that the dirt is on there makes it look like there's an S right to the northeast of the D, or northwest for y'all. So I have a question for you guys real quick. Is it backwards for you? Like, is it showing the image flipped to the side, or yeah, or is it showing you a mirror image? There we go. Or is it showing you it the right way? Because for me, it's showing a mirror image. It's kind of annoying. Keep going the wrong way with the coin. Okay, cool. See, the way the dirt was on that made it look like there was an S over it. Oh, hey, look at this. The D is a little bit sideways and off center. Probably within the limitations, or the constraints. Here we go. Hopefully I can find an S. That would be cool. I don't have a 1955 S yet. Found quite a few 60 S's, 69 S's. None of the double dies or the small data or large data or anything, unfortunately, but and then random ones from the early 50s and 40s. All right, cool. I'm glad y'all are seeing it right. Nothing yet. No. Not a D or a D. It's pretty cool. This is actually the first time I've been able to use my mat since I got it. I'm pretty excited about this. Now, DW, have you heard the Numismatic Scholar Program that the American Numismatic Association puts out? Or has available, I guess. Might sound better. So I actually learned about it, and I didn't know this guy was so big, but apparently he's actually like the expert on errors in the country. John Sullivan. I think it's Sullivan Coins is the website, sullivancoins.com or something like that. And I met him at the Whitman show in Baltimore, and he basically told me that all my coins were damaged or not anything special, unfortunately. But he said if I really want to be able to do this stuff myself, to go take the errors and varieties class from them. So if that's what I'm interested in doing, and that will help me to understand things like the way that the metal moves when it's being pressed, and by being able to see the movement of the metal is how you can tell if something is damaged or an error. I guess that has a lot to do with it, especially the errors that I thought I had. And ever since then, that's sort of been like my goal is how do I end up finding a way to take these classes. So the course itself, I think, is like $495 for all of the classes, or you can buy them individually for like $70 some a piece. But the whole program takes about 2 years to complete, and on the other end, you come out with a certification as a numismatic scholar, and you're considered at least an expert on coins. I wouldn't say maybe an authority at that point yet, but an expert, someone who can be trusted to know what's going on with the coin. I haven't heard of a lot of people who have heard of it quite yet, and I feel like that's something that would be really beneficial. So what I want to do with the channel is actually start taking the courses, and as I'm learning through those 2 years, be posting about what I'm learning. That 5 is kind of filled in. That could just be damage. I mean, something obviously happened to the coin right there, but that's pretty cool. And actually share what I'm learning with people, so that way there's at least another resource out there from somebody who's also learning about coins at the same time. And they can be getting it, not, I won't be a professional, but yeah, I that's exactly why I want to take the courses, because there's things that I know I have, and I trusted John's opinion because he actually took the time to explain things to me he was very kind and patient, and he looked at a ton of my coins. It was a cool learning experience, and so I don't really go to the coin shops around here looking for anything, any kind of information for them to tell me about a coin, because at this point, yeah, I just don't trust them to really care, want to take the time to mess with it. Plus, most of my coin dealers around here don't care much for varieties and errors that aren't the really, really big ones, like a die cap or matted pairs or mule cents or the 1955 double die Avers. Okay, Scott was on a Facebook group where a guy posted a photo of a double die he found. Person running the group said it was nothing special. Scott posted another picture and asked about that one. I'm guessing there's more to follow. Again, the expert running the Facebook group said it was nothing special. Scott said that it was strange because it was the same photo that the expert posted 2 earlier saying it was legit. Yeah, yeah. That's wow. That's pretty cool. Scott called him out. So yeah, you don't necessarily just trust anybody. You go with your gut, and I've heard somebody else say this before that you could ask 100 different coin dealers about one coin, and you're certain, but they say no, it's something special, and it could still be something. Don't give up. Keep asking. Don't get rid of the coin just because you got a little discouraged by somebody saying that it was nothing special. If you think it's something special, keep searching until you find out why it's special or why it's not. The thing that I liked about the way John explained what he said was that he explained everything. It's like, okay, that makes perfect sense as to why this isn't right. Yeah, yeah, exactly what I think. And I feel like I have to ask them first before I just go doing that. But I feel like at the same time, it's not like I'm giving out certifications for free. Uh, that comes with doing the courses. But if anything, it would be a really good preparatory course, so that way people going through the courses could get through them faster, or just already sort of know what to expect going in, rather than, because when you go to their website and you look at the pamphlets that they have, it doesn't give you a lot of information about how it's going to work. It just has sort of a basic outline of what courses you're going to take and the pricing, but I'm pretty sure the books and all that are included in the price. And then in order to graduate, you also have to be an ANA member. Remember that too. So this was a lot of fun. I went through my whole roll and I didn't find anything. If you guys want to wait just a minute, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go see if I can pull out those 1960 DVDs real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm back. Did it take long? 63, 1943. Ooh, uh-oh. Here we go. All right. So both of these, I mean, I'm not sure if they would make red or not. I'm not sure if that's just dirt or toning or what. But honestly, I think these coins are still absolutely beautiful. So Liberty there. And then check this out. Ooh. $19.60 D over D. Yeah, so that's oh nice, DW. That's awesome. I haven't found silver in my pocket change in a long time. And the only things I keep finding at the coin stars are up in the rack, and it's just like a dime or a penny or something that they forgot to push down into the slot. So that's awesome. Congratulations on that. And one thing I'm upset I haven't found yet. I haven't found one West Point quarter in my pocket change. I found a bunch in boxes a while back. I haven't found one in my pocket change. And I'm like Rob Fine's treasure, where if I'm spending cash, I'm gonna like make my gas a weird number, so I have to go back in and they have to give me like change back. So then here's the other 1960 D over D. Oh, come on. Oh, trying to like push this around when the microscope is so close is kind of hard. Really need a bigger computer screen. There it is, a little bit closer. Yeah, there's some people just getting lucky with it. I'm guessing, some people where they live, there's just nobody really collects coins and knows about coins. It's just not something they do around there. Because I keep seeing people find them in their change left and right. And then this one, it's an old flip, and it says 1960, and it said it was a D over D, but I personally don't see it. I mean, maybe, but I think this one was wrongfully marked. I honestly think that that's just damage on there. So, all right. This is one of the ones I found in a roll. Huh. Never did put any of these under the microscope because I didn't really want to touch them too much. This one's going to be going to Marley and T from the giveaways. West Point. Liberty. But I had gotten a couple of new issue boxes. And then I got ones that weren't new issue. And I was like, well, crap, let me go turn these in real quick and go try and get some new issue. And I kept running into those same boxes where they had a ton of new 2018 quarters. And I went through one and I started finding West Points in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've turned back in through like 3 of these already to other banks and gone back and gotten more quarters. And they all probably had West Points in them. And I was just churning back in West Points because I thought, it's not an uncirculated box, so I shouldn't be looking there. And that was a mistake that I made. So don't make that mistake if you start finding like a bunch of newer 2019 quarters in the boxes. What I think happened was that they had to go into the reserve quarter. They actually put currency away in case they see that there's just not enough coins in the system, and banks are starting to complain that they don't have the coinage that they need. They'll take from these reserves and put them into circulation. And I'm thinking that's what happened is they had a bunch of reserve 2018 quarters along with older quarters as well. and they needed to put them all into circulation because so many people were looking for the West Point porters. So I made a big mistake turning those boxes back in, I'm sure. I probably would have had a lot more if I hadn't. But and the next thing I put up to sell, I'm actually going to be doing that so that way I can oh, what did you do with a real roller? I didn't know it when I got my box of 2019 nickels, but there's a double die on the 2019 nickel. So I should have been taking those rolls and trying to sell them online for a premium because they were worth it. And the 2019 pennies have some of the best of varieties for the Shield Sense. And they also have the floating head one where they over polished on the neck. It was ICG, I think, is recognizing those, but apparently ICG will recognize anything for an extra few bucks. So, in the appearance of an air, but people aren't expecting anybody else to really pick up on that one. It's selling for good money, so it's definitely a coin to look for. It's 1963. I almost feel like this 1963 is a proof that just doesn't have the mirror finish, and she didn't. And she sent me a proof 1963. I'm just sort of searching random things now. I'm not really tired yet, so. Okay, I said that and then I yawned. And unfortunately, I just brought home food from work tonight. So I'm not cooking anything. But something cool that we do is called Roman Holiday. Some of y'all might have heard of it. I like Roman Holiday a lot. It was actually my favorite meal growing up. Where you can take, what we do is you boil up half a pound of noodles, or if you have a really big family, you do the whole bit thing. You're just going to need a much bigger pan. And then for every half pound of noodles, so half box of pasta, we use elbows that you use. You want a pound of ground beef. Brown that up, and then mix it all together with your favorite pasta sauce. If you're simple, if you like it simple, you can just do like tomato paste with garlic salt, onion salt on the meat, and some pepper. I do it up. I'm putting on fresh cracked pepper and pink Himalayan salt. I'm gonna put some garlic in it, some onions, some pepper, some like green peppers or red peppers. I like orange and yellow peppers a lot too. I just like all the peppers. Any and every pepper is amazing. And put some of that in there. I'm gonna use mozzarella. Growing up, we used Velveeta. I don't put that in my body anymore. But if you like it, feel free. I still like it. It's not that it doesn't taste good. I know what it does to us, and I don't want that. I don't need that. I'd rather just use straight up real cheese. If I could, I would put fresh mozzarella on it. And then I'm using basil, thyme, oregano, a little bit of sage for sort of this flavor in the background. Sort of elevates it a little bit. And you put the tomato sauce, the noodles, and the beef all in the pan, and then you just cover it with cheese, and then you put the top on and just wait for the cheese to melt. And me personally, I like to put some butter on some bread and then just take all this and put it on there and make a carb sandwich, is what I call it. To me, it's just awesome. Definitely good for feeding a lot of people. And I like to add the vegetables because that's how we still get our vegetables, is by putting it in stuff like that. And then we'll make salads too, less often because I don't feel like chopping that much. And our daughter really won't eat greens yet. We've been trying to get her to eat lettuce and stuff, but it doesn't. I guess for them, it feels weird trying to chew up something that's paper thin like that. It doesn't really work. So most of the time, if we're gonna do that, one thing I like to do for our little girl is tortillas with hummus, and I was put some salt and pepper. She likes spicy food. It's so awesome. Right? Put it all on the bread. And yeah, she actually likes spicy food, and she's not even quite 2 years old yet. So um, it makes me so proud. And yeah, I'll do that, and then slice up like some cucumber and sprinkle that on it. Um, Slice it, I mean dice it into like little cubes, and then put spinach across it and roll it up and just cut it into little pinwheels. And that way, when she's chewing up the spinach, she doesn't really feel it's chewing up with everything else. There's more substance wrapped around it. A salad just doesn't really work. And she's like me. She doesn't like iceberg lettuce. Stuff is just sort of tasteless. Not supposed to be anything on that side. All right, guys. Well, I have all this done for the night. We reached 3 likes, um, and we have 5 people here right now. Pretty excited to see that. I'll definitely be doing more of these here in the near future. We're finally getting our sort of set up to do things. So if you got a box of 2019 nickels and like you don't have the scope to search, because on new doubled dies, because it's not really doubled in that sense, what's happening is as the hub is pressing into the die, it's sort of twisting, and it makes the image look stretched. So you really need magnification to see those. What I would do is you can either look for a really high example, which is hard unless you know everything that goes into the grading process, or put them up on eBay, um, and start an auction off for like $3 for $3 shipping. Do it as an auction, and you start it off low, and that's how you attract people to your auction, and then they start following it, start bidding on it, and that just goes up and up from there. And if you're doing it, $3 with $3 shipping per roll, or if you want to sell the whole box, you can do that too, and start to the point where you would make just a few dollars, because money is money as long as you're making money. And if you're sending the whole box, definitely look at how much the shipping should be on that, because that's expensive. But you'll attract more people to it that way if you're doing it in an auction style rather than a buy it now. And who was it? It was Coin Help You. I believe this suggested not doing buy it now type things because it doesn't look as good as an auction to serious collectors, and people who are looking for things. So the auction way is definitely the way to go, and you'll find some rolls will go for more than others if you're selling them individually. But that's my suggestion. That's what I would do with them. Is just sell them off, because I don't know enough about grading yet to actually say whether I think something is a 68 or a 69. Um, uh, but when I sent off the 4 quarters that I sent off from West Point, I got 266s and 264s, And I went back and looked at some of the other ones that I had. I'm like, man, I wish I had sent those instead. Because I feel like they definitely looked a little bit better. So yeah. So if it's in a BU roll and you're taking pictures of the rolls, you're taking pictures of the ends and putting that on there, and then something I would say is never put down that you take returns when you're selling coins. I had somebody when I was selling my West Point quarters who tried to send me back a Philadelphia mint. He had bought 2 quarters. He tried to send me back a Philadelphia mint and a West Point that had a Wheel of Death on it, which I would have never ever sent him a West Point with a Circle of Death ever. That's just not how I operate, especially not for what I was charging for it. I was selling them for $20 at the time, and they sold quick. And I wanted to send somebody something that was already a damaged coin for $20. Like, to me, that's worth face value at that point with the way that it was scratched in there. It was like a deep circle. So I ended up getting into an argument between him and eBay. Not really an argument, just sort of going back and forth on the problems that I had with the coins that I received back and why I wasn't going to issue a refund. So eBay ended up paying him back, and I'm like, that's not how. Okay, so this guy still wins because he has my West Point quarters still, and he just got his money back. I feel like they caved way too fast on that. But that's me. So never ever. And when he did it, I had it on there that you can do returns, no matter what, and you shouldn't do that. Just say no returns, and then in the description you can put, I don't generally accept returns, but if you have a problem with your order, contact me, and we'll resolve the issue. But never put on there that they can automatically return it, because that allows them to just print their shipping label and send it back to you. That was a dumb idea, especially for coins. I'm sure there's other things out there that it wouldn't be such a big deal. But yeah. So, anyways, that's my experience on eBay. I learned a lot from selling those West Point quarters. And also remember with eBay, don't do a sponsored listing, or don't sponsor the listing, because they charge you 5% extra, and it really does. It'll put it at the top, but most people don't just stop at the first couple of listings they see. They will go down further than that and see, because they're looking for the best price. They're not necessarily just looking for the first thing that they see. So never sponsor it, and then you will have to pay eBay every month their share. They don't automatically take it out of the listing, which I don't know why. They just have this whole extra accounting step in there that's completely useless. Just take the money out when the sale happens. It make things a lot easier. But yeah, you will owe eBay their cut. I think it's like 10 or 15%, something like that. You'll have to look that up yourself, but make sure that you do read about that when you go onto eBay. So, hey Debbie, I didn't even see you in the chat. I haven't been missing any. Nope. Yeah, it definitely wasn't cool. But it happens, and we learn our lessons. So I'm excited to get back on it. So at this point, I didn't know that you owed eBay. I thought they took the cut out. So I actually owe eBay some money. I've told him, it's like, look, I'm going to pay you, just hold on to it, and when I can, I will. Um, but we're actually going to be starting up uh, all my ladies, so that way we can we can sell some stuff and use that money to pay eBay on my account, and then I can start using it to start selling coins. Um, yeah. So, anyways, any more questions from anybody? Anything you guys want to know? As I said, I'm not tired really, so I could stay up and keep talking, or if we're ready to end the stream, everybody wants to go to bed, we can do that. Fleabag. eBay auctions are doing eBay in an auction style is what you really want. Now, if you have a coin that has sort of an established price that everybody knows it's worth this much because it consistently is sold for that much, that's, I guess, would be different. You could put it at a buy it now price, but for the most part, as long as you set your price on something, so that way you're making a little bit of money off of it. So if you pulled a rare variety out of a coin roll, and you're going to end up just putting it up raw on eBay to sell, because you don't feel like dealing with getting it graded or anything, and you pulled it out, it's a rare penny, so you spent a cent on it if you got the roll at the bank, or maybe got it from the cashier. I like to ask cashiers if I can buy their rolls all the time. Um, and you paid a penny for it. So if you put it up for 99 cents with $3 shipping, uh, you're gonna have people just sort of flock to the coin, because it is going to be up near the top when they do flip it to say pricing lowest pricing first, which is what I do when I go on anywhere. So I'd see what the lowest price is first, and make sure it's matches up to what I'm looking for. Um, they're going to see your auction first, and then you'll get all those people watching it, get them hooked, and the next thing you know, the price just goes up and up and up. You could actually, if you're trying to be conservative and sell it, buy it now, you might actually end up making less that way than you would have in an auction format. Um, so yeah, just again, Debbie, with the eBay auctions and with the buy it nows, do not put down that they can automatically return something, because that can mess you up. I would say 7 days is good. If you want to do it extra long, I think they have an extra long setting to do it for like a 14-day. That could also be USA Coin Book. I can't remember. And I think there might be faster ones. They go in like 3.5 days, but I would say do it for 7 days. Now, I mean, if you're looking to get money like really, really fast for whatever reason, go ahead and put just a really conservative buy it now price, or you can do a faster auction. And I've noticed that fee pay auctions are less about getting the item for a good price than they are about beating out the other people bidding against you. I've noticed getting the item for a good price. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so really, Real Rule is right. You almost get people like fighting against each other and trying to outbid the other person more than you get people looking to get a good price when you're talking about people who look at auctions as opposed to buy it now. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, it is. And then you can't be blamed. Like, it can't be said that you gouged somebody on the price or anything, because they're the one that said they're willing to pay it. And now that's on them. That's their fault. They didn't want to pay that much money for it. They shouldn't have hit enter. But if you watch my channel for any length of time, something you'll know about me is that I hate people who will lie or cheat for money. That is something I just cannot stand, and I don't like being around people who I know do it, because I just don't feel like that person is trustworthy. So there's good, honest ways to make money, and if people weren't so greedy all the time, the world would be a much better place, and we'd all be in a much better financial place. And people are greedy. Welcome, Debbie. Just go over ruling, and that's the whole point of taking the ANA classes, is to go and help other people understand what they have and what it's really worth and how to find the value, rather than having to rely on other people. So if I end up doing like a brokerage for somebody, which is something I plan on doing, I don't want it to be where I'm just like sort of getting the coins out and pointing, just sort of setting it out and saying, I think this is worth that, that's worth that, that's worth that. I would actually want the people to be involved and to be learning about the coins that they have. That would be my ideal setting for one of those. I'm sure there's some people who don't want anything to do with it, but wow. I know somebody who's a millionaire. Has people opening fraudulent GoFundMe campaigns for her because she's a single mom, quote unquote, basically scamming them, not mentioning she doesn't need the money. That's terrible. I mean, you have so much money. Like, why are you wasting your time doing something like that? Like, just go open a business, get it up and running, hire a bunch of people to run it for you who do a good job, and then you sort of put it on auto. And very rarely is there much that you have to deal with, as long as you have the right people running that business. I mean, if I ever won something like a Mega Millions, or if I ever found a coin that was worth a crap ton of money and I actually sold it, the first thing I'm doing is opening a business and getting it to be sort of self-sustaining and running to help fund things. One thing I actually want to do, and I keep talking to my pastor about, is, yeah, it must be greed. The Anabaptists, when they would start churches, they would have three people that were involved in the starting of that church. One was the pastor, or the teacher, and then one would be the like a prayer warrior who's just constantly praying for the church, the members of the church, and all that. And then you would have a businessman who would go out and start a business, and that business would actually fund the church. So if you were bringing in tithes, all those tithes were actually going back out into missions and into taking the gospel to people, rather than going into paying for a building and food and things like that. That was all being provided by a business that was ran specifically to take care of that church and to help it grow. So, and I think that that is the best model that any church could take on, because it completely takes away from, oh, y'all are greedy and you just want everybody's money, and that's why you pass that offering plate around all the time. To me, that would be the perfect way to combat that misnomer about the church, because things take money, especially if you want to do it that way. Really, if you can start a church for free at home, in a sense, you're already paying your rent and stuff. The church has nothing to do with the building. It's the people. We are the church, not some building. And I think we sort of forget that, especially in the way that we talk. We say, oh, I'm going to church, when really you're going to be in fellowship with the church. We just drop that whole middle part, and it sort of loses the context of what's really going on. Yeah, you have a place that you go and gather to, and it might be a building somewhere, but in ancient Roman times, they were gathering in graveyards, because the graveyard was the only safe place for them, because the Romans didn't want to go in them. They had their superstitions. So the churches were going into the graveyards to do their worship, because it's the only place that they could without being found. So yeah, we're rather blessed in this country that we get to actually gather together in the way that we do. You go to church all the time and you hear people say that you should read your Bible every day. And the problem with that is there's people who might have a page of the Bible, or even just a couple sentences, or they only have of it what they've been told is in it, and that they've been able to memorize from other people telling them, because it's illegal in their country. So when people say, oh, you need to read your Bible every day, I don't think that that's right. We need to be praying every day. Prayer is where you're actually connecting with the Father through the Son. The scripture is not the word. Jesus is the word. I think we need to remember that. The scripture is the scripture. In its English form, it can be fallible in that you're not getting the whole of the right message by the words that are being used. If you're not going back to the original Greek, Hebrew, and a little bit of Aramaic that's in there, then you lose context of what these things really mean. That being said, Hebrew is not exactly an easy language to understand. Every letter has 7 meanings, and every word has 7 meanings times the number of letters in the word. So, if you have 5 letters in a word, 7 times 5 is 35 meanings for one word. And it's all based on the context of the speech. That's not exactly something that's easy to understand, or especially not easy to translate into English, which is why you lose that information. It's pretty intense. But I think prayer is what we need to do every day, and actually connect with God, because the word is written on our hearts. The law, the scripture, it's already written on our hearts. All we have to do is have it brought out in us, and let that, what's written on our hearts, soften our hearts and bring us closer to the Lord through connecting our heart to Him and letting Him bring out those things. And you won't need at that point a Bible to know the difference between right and wrong, and what decisions you should make and you shouldn't make. It will be something that's just ingrained within you, and it can come out of nowhere. But that's how it is for people in those countries who don't have a Bible. And I almost think that that Bible is a hindrance to us if we don't use it in the right context of, sure, I could sit here and read this all day, but if I'm not talking to the person who wrote it, I'm not learning anything about it, essentially. I'm done. Rant over. And that's something that I plan to be doing on the. If you haven't checked out my other channel, it's Project Aletheia. I plan on getting more in depth into scripture and biblical things and sort of just what's going on in our world and in society on that channel more. And I'll probably start a weekly live stream over there to, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to write that. Right here in the chat for you guys. That's the other channel name. And I'm just going to have a topic every week of something that I'm going to talk about, how I feel, what I've seen, the evidence that I have, and see what other people have to say, and just sort of collaborate with the community here on the ideas that I go over, because no man is an island, and we shouldn't just be relying on our own understanding, which is, again, why we pray. But then I believe by bringing our heads together and coming together, especially in the name of the Lord, because where two or more are gathered in my name, I am there. So when we gather in his name, he'll be there, and greater learning can happen, and growth. So if it's not weekly, it'll at least be bi-weekly. I'm going to try and make it a weekly live stream over there, though. And I also, that one, I'm hoping to be, like, this is all about coins and just looking at some coins and stuff, which is no big deal. But when I'm talking about what I believe is right and wrong in the universe, I'm going to want to be a lot more prepared. So it might be a little bit before I start it. But I want to make sure that I take time to do what I just told y'all that you should do, and pray about it and make sure that I started off the right way. So it's pretty cool. I didn't expect to be on here for an hour and a half. I didn't know how long it was going to take to go through the roles. Unfortunately, they weren't BU roles like I was hoping for. But did find your 1955S for you, and a couple other cool things. So yeah, Project Aletheia was my original handle. And then I wanted something that sort of went along with the, how do I put it, what I was going through in my life at the time. And also had to do with sort of the gravitating towards getting into the numismatic side of things. If you don't know, the tried like silver is a reference to biblical stuff in the Bible scriptures. When you try silver, that's actually putting silver through the fire, and when it comes out, it's more pure. You burn out more of those purities. And the thing is, though, is you can try silver and come out the other side with more impurities. From what I understand, I have a couple of friends who are really into metal, and I'm not talking about music. I'm talking about they just love metal. One of them's a welder. The other one makes jewelry. I actually gave him a couple of sort of torn up, not torn up, but just more worn. I gave him a Walker and a Benji. He's going to make some jewelry out of it. There's no varieties, or they're not rare or by any means. They're definitely common dates. So don't be mad at me for letting him destroy coins. But Rob finds treasure where it's once, so it shouldn't be too bad, right? Anyways, yeah. So I felt like I was being put through the fire. I'm glad, DW. That makes me really happy. Yeah, we all have this at some point in our lives. We're all life has ups and downs, no matter what background you come from, what class you might live in. There's always challenges for every person. Okay, when you smelt metal, dross or impurities come to the top. You scrape it off before pouring, or else you would get a bad casting. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's where that comes from. I could actually probably find some references, but I'm not going to take the time to do that right now. I sort of lost my place. So yeah, when I was living in the truck, and I would lived in a Cavalier a little bit for a little while before that too. That was cramped, much smaller. I was happy to get the truck and be able to live in that for a while. Um, yeah, yeah, I felt like that was the fire. And the thing is, I'm still not cooled off yet completely. There's some things that still burn. Made a foundry out of a popcorn tin so I can make parts for my boat out of aluminum. That's pretty awesome. Out of a popcorn tin. Huh. I wouldn't have thought of that. Exactly, real ruler. Going through the fire eliminates the bad parts. So what I and when I like I said earlier, I don't mean to keep going back to this, but when I was at work and I was keeping my head calm, I was noticing everything that was going on. I don't feel like that's just because I've worked in food for a while or my experience, because when I've been in kitchens before, I would freak out. The metal doors on heating cabinets are hollow, so when you punch it, it doesn't really hurt you, but it's like it makes a loud bang. I used to punch those heating cabinet doors all the time. I had such bad anger issues back then. I've never been in a fight with a person. I've never really struck a person ever, except for my brothers when we were younger. We would fight. That's for everyone, I'm sure. Um, but I would get really angry, and the ability to keep my head cool while everybody else was freaking out over the fact that people had been waiting 15, 20 minutes for their food. It got pretty bad at one point. And I just feel like that shows where I've come from that time, because even when I was in the truck, I still had some of those issues. I'd be in work and I'd be walking up and down the aisles in the warehouse just railing, just so stressed out and putting way more pressure on myself than I needed to. And I've mentioned this before too, the concept of quicksand that I stole from The Replacements, the movie, um, where when you start letting yourself go down into that hole, you just make things worse and worse for yourself, and it'll eventually just take over you like quicksand. So Yeah, I feel like that was sort of a testament to the difference in me. And I'm by no means perfect. I still have trouble with it sometimes, but it's getting a lot better, which I'm really grateful for. Um, and I feel like it really actually started getting better after it got like it started making leaps and bounds after I got out of the truck, or got after the truck got wrecked. Something about that, I don't know, changed something, made me start thinking differently. So, and really matured me a lot. So, all right, guys. Well, it's getting to be close to 1 a.m. and I know a lot of y'all have to work tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, and go get some sleep. I appreciate everybody showing up. This was a great time, and I can't wait to do it again here soon. Um, Working in fast food, my schedule is a little bit wonky, so um, I'm not going to be able to establish a particular night that I'm going to be live streaming. Um, but I was really happy to be here tonight and be able to share this time with you guys. So thanks for being here, coming in. Thank you so much again, DW, for donating to the channel. And I hope you all have a great night. I'll be getting all this shipped out to you by Tuesday. And now all the giveaway winners, if any of them happen to have been in the stream or be watching this at any point, I will also be getting your giveaways out by Tuesday now, thanks to DW. So I love you guys very much. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much, Real Ruler and DW and Debbie. It has been great. Thank you. Um, and Wouldn't have been great if y'all hadn't been here. So would have been pretty boring by myself. I appreciate you all. Have a great night. Sleep well, and see you next time. Bye. Oh, and I can't forget. Always remember, in God we trust. I'm an outro like that one day. It's gonna happen. Need to get an intro and an avatar first. All right. Good night, y'all. Bye.